Let me guess, you are feeling guilty about putting yourself first, as if you don't have enough on your plate already. You have your family, friends, school, or even work, and you are also probably taking care of a pet, and you're always at the back of your line. Taking care of yourself should be a priority. After all, you really cannot pour from an empty cup. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Let's get into the video. Hi, I'm Eglah and this is a safe space for positivity and growth. Judging by the title, we are talking about prioritizing yourself. You have to put yourself first sometimes, and I cannot wait to show you how to do that. Okay, before I show you how to prioritize yourself, to show up for yourself every time, I want us to figure out why is it that you're probably not even putting yourself first. Why is it that you're doing that? The first point that I'll give you is guilt and shame. Sometimes we feel like if we put ourselves first, we are neglecting some of the responsibilities that we ought to do. But the thing is that you can manage your time. You can be able to figure out what times am I, probably slacking off that I could be taking care of myself. Taking care of yourself means that you are taking that break and it's all about you. You're making yourself feel good. And for all those times that you've been putting people's needs ahead, you have been making sure that they also feel good. Try to equate that to yourself. Figure out now, I brought my friends flowers, yes? Can I also buy myself flowers? Can I also take myself out on a solo date and just enjoy my own company and just thank myself and feel good about myself in the end? Number two is out of habit. We sometimes have a hard time breaking some chains when it comes to habit. If you are used to not prioritizing yourself, you're just used to going to work, you're used to going to school, and you just want to stretch yourself so much so that you can accomplish everything that you have done, so that you can give your all in everything that you're trying to do, it can be hard to break that cycle because you are already used to doing that. Now, I want you to remember that sometimes when we go on heavy with our responsibilities, when we go heavy with the things that we feel we should do, we can sometimes get a burnout, and it's truly tough. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your mental health. You need to take care of your physical health, because sometimes overworking ourselves can make us sick. You can even get sick from that. So just take deep pauses, relax, and give yourself a break sometimes. Number three can be fear of judgment and rejection. Same as the first point that I gave about guilt and shame. It could be that in the kind of setting that you're in, you are surrounded by people who also do not prioritize themselves, and you see this pattern and you're afraid that if you take some time off, it probably means that you slack off work. And you just taking a breather and saying, hey, let me just relax a bit, doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you are not up to the task. Sometimes we really need to re-energize, and you cannot do that if you're always putting some responsibilities ahead of your own. Remember that you're also part of that responsibility. On your to-do list, always make sure that you have time for yourself where you can just take care of yourself. The last point that I will give is finance, and the reason I thought I should add this is because when I tell you to prioritize yourself or just do something that relates with self-care, you're probably thinking, it's gonna cost me some money. It means that I need to go outside and probably buy myself flowers. It probably means taking myself on a trip, a road trip, or even taking a solo date. But prioritizing yourself doesn't always mean you need to spend money. I am actually going to create another video where I'm going to show you things you can do when you're bored, and in that list I am pretty sure you're going to find some activities that will make you spend some time with yourself, and they're not going to make you break the bank, and some of them are actually just free activities. You could go outside, take a walk, watch birds. It's really necessary for you to clear out your head sometimes. You could read a book, just spend time with you. And by spending time alone, you can also just cut on the technology. Now, before I even start talking a lot, I think we can just go to how to prioritize yourself, because we have finished this part. The first point that I'll start with for how you can prioritize yourself is by identifying your desires and your needs. And by this, you will be able to determine what is it that I really like, What are my passions? I actually recommend writing a list down. You can write something like, okay, what is it that I've always wanted to do? Have I always wanted to go ziplining? Have I always wanted to just go to an animal park and see, these wild animals? You're going to be able to understand your interests. You're going to be able to understand the things that you crave, but you hardly dig deep inside. On the video where I talked about journaling, I told you journaling makes you understand more about yourself. By you creating a list where you're able to know your desires and your wants, it's going to be so much easier for you to establish the things that you love doing. Yes, and so you are going to be able to just cut a fine line between the things you love doing with your friends and the things that you love doing on your own, so that it's easier for you to just set some time back, even when you're alone, and have some fun. Number 2 is schedule some me time in your calendar. Exactly. I am so sure that in your calendar you hardly have time for yourself. You've probably just put some outings, probably with your friends, or some work-related things. You're saying that you cannot even add like 20 minutes of me time. Of course you can. Exactly. So you can actually do this when you're setting your calendar and you're trying to figure out, what can I do for this week or this month? Allocate some time. I like saying things like quiet time, focus time. Put at least even 20 minutes. If you are so busy, you can do 20 minutes in a day where you can just do focus time. Just get off your computer, get off your phone, and relax. Write some things down about who you are, about, you're just having a conversation with yourself, really. And by that, you will be able to make tip number 1 work, because by you getting me times, you are going to be able to understand the things that you love. You are going to be able to make a list, like I mentioned in tip number 1. Tip number 3 is connecting with nature. I really love this. I want you to actually just take a pause right now. I am guessing, okay, it's really not practical right now, so I'm gonna say do this when you're in your house, do this when you're home. I want you to just sit down and listen to your environment. Now, I said it can't be practical, but if you are in a noisy place, I know how town can be. It's really noisy. But if you go out to the countryside, or even just go to somewhere that's very quiet, you're going to listen. You're going to actually see some things that, not even seeing, but hear some things that you've never paid attention to. Right now, when I just pause, I can hear some birds. I can feel some atmosphere that's really calm. And sometimes you need that. You need that in your routine, where you're away from all kind of pressure, you're away from so much noise, and it's just you reconnecting with nature. You can take a hike, you can ride a bike, you can just go out while taking a walk and just seeing the things in your environment. And I'm so sure you're going to notice a few things. Yeah, you can also go to some place like gardens or Karura Forest, take a walk, relax, and just reconnect with nature. It's really going to help. The final tip I'm going to give you is to learn to say yes to yourself. I know most of the times when you're talking, I did do a video, I said learn how to say no, but now I'm going to tell you to say yes to yourself. We neglect ourselves so much. We hardly even think about what we really want inside. And I tell you, without you internalizing and getting to understand who you really are, you are not going to be able to figure out some of the things that you even want. I will not be able to just ask you, what is it that you'd really like to do right now? And you won't be able to even think about it. And so it's really necessary for you to say yes to yourself. You want to buy yourself chocolate this weekend because you are proud of something that you accomplished. Go do it. You are going to confuse your mind in a really positive way, because your mind is going to see that, okay, we do nice things to ourselves, and you're really going to take away those negative talks that we talk about. You are always going to be doing positive things to yourself, because your mind already understands that, oh, we love ourselves here. This is a place where we love ourselves, and your mind will already make you feel like you love yourself. I am not a scientist, but it works. Now, finally, I just want to tell you the benefits of you prioritizing yourself, because you're probably thinking, okay, so what does it even benefit me if I do these things? And I'm just going to tell you why. You're going to improve your productivity. That's guaranteed. When you're having time for yourself, you're going to be taking necessary breaks that are not going to make you have a burnout in the end. When you have a burnout, there's no need. You're going to work so many hours, but it's not going to be that productive as much as when you are happy and at peace. The second one is that it's going to boost your relationships with your friends, family, or partner, because you are really going to be feeling happy about yourself. You're not going to be feeling drained because you already have time for yourself, and you're not going to crave some sort of attention from other people. You are going to validate yourself already. And then number 3 is you become happier. Of course, you are going to be so much happier because you are taking your priorities first. And then number 4, it's going to reduce stress. Of course, when you're happier, when you're being kind to yourself, you are going to be a little bit less stressed. Finally, you are going to have better decision making because you are not hogging things from the past. You're not having things that are weighing you down in terms of yourself. I told you there are so many things that intertwine when it comes to wellness. You as an individual, an environment is a whole factor, but when it comes to yourself, if you're already at peace, if you are already doing things that should guarantee your happiness, it's going to be so much better and your mind is going to be clear. And that brings me to the end of this video. I do hope that it was helpful. In case you love this video and the rest of my videos, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next video. Bye.